we're going to get some breakfast and then we shall jump on the bikes. We've got a long day today. We're off to Whitehorse. It's about 340 miles on the bike, so hence the early start. Old shoulders are starting to give me a bit of jip, but I'm trying not to think about it. Anyway, we'll see you on the bike shortly. So cheerio to Dawson City. What an amazing place it was. Never stayed anywhere like that before, and I don't suppose I'll stay anywhere like that again. It'd be great to stay a couple of days there, but probably you won't want any longer than that, but great fun. So we're leaving today on another epic trip. 335 miles we've got to do. It's going to be probably another 8 or 9 hours on the bike. No dirt roads this time, I think, though, so it should be a little bit easier riding. But basically, pretty much following the mighty Yukon River. I think I'm right in saying the longest river in North America. It's certainly a biggie if it's not. And the Dawson itself is built on the confluence of the Yukon and the Klondike rivers, which is probably why it built, you know, the town built up there. That plus, of course, they found gold in them hills, and the river provided valuable communications to actually get to the place. Now though, we have this amazing road. Looks like the weather's set fair for the day. It's only 49 Fahrenheit at the moment, but it's going to warm up, we hope, because we've put our riding jeans on today instead of our full-blown gear. So hopefully we'll be a little bit more comfortable when it warms up. And the next thing on our list is actually to refuel at Klondike, which is in about 22 miles, which even though we filled up when we got to Dawson City, there's a little bit of doubt about the fuel ongoing on the route on this, so we want to keep her absolutely topped up as much as we can. We don't want to be getting into fuel panic as we get out to the more remote parts of the Yukon again today, but should be an excellent trip. Just settle back into that touring vibe again and see what the day brings. I just passed a signpost that said Whitehorse 527. That gave me a little bit of a fright to start with, but of course now we're in Canada, the signposts are in kilometres, so we've got to recalibrate our heads to that. Although of course the bike and the sat-nav's in miles, so maybe we'll just operate in miles. So this here is Dawson Airport, believe it or not. It's actually got a 737 I can see there, so the runway must be quite significant. Incredible, they've actually got a full-blown airport here. It will take jets of that size. We've seen loads of airstrips for Piper Cubs, my favourite sort of aeroplane. But yeah, fancy coming in here on a 737. It looks like an EasyJet, but it's not. It says, I don't know what it says on the tail. I think it says Alaska. No, it says Yukon actually, which is more appropriate. Oh, I'd love to do some flying around here. What an absolutely brilliant place it would be to explore by air. These are my sort of aeroplanes. One day. So the river just to my left through these trees, which you can't now see, is actually the Klondike. So we're following the Klondike River a little bit before we join up again, I think, with the Yukon a bit later, and we're going to cross it in about 100 miles on a bridge, I assume, as opposed to an actual river crossing. Otherwise we're going to regret having worn our jeans. I forgot to mention earlier that actually, in case you're wondering about the sort of logistics of how this tour works in terms of practicalities and how, you know, how can you carry enough stuff for 3 weeks, well, there is actually a support truck that comes along with us. How cool is that? So we got Mark driving a massive Dodge Ram with a trailer, which I think has a spare GS on it, and some spares and toolkit and all that sort of thing. And then each day also we load our luggage into the pickup, and he meets us at the hotel at the other end, which is flipping marvellous, because it means you don't have to carry absolutely everything. We still have to carry enough stuff in the panniers for like one night and you know, your overnight stuff, in case he doesn't get to the hotel until late, because of course he's driving last, so that anyone in the group that's like tail end Charlie gets mopped up, or if anyone has a problem, he comes across them en route. But yeah, having that support vehicle there is just a great sort of insurance policy. Never ridden with one of those before. I have to say I love it. And while you're out here riding like this, it feels like you're on your own tour, because we're riding alone at the moment. There's nothing behind us as far as the eye can see, or ahead of us. Well, having said that, I can see a couple of vehicles ahead. Yet we know there are lots of now our friends on the road as well, and ultimately Mark in the big black beast with the trailer and toolkit if we need it. Quick glimpse of the Klondike, maybe? No, maybe not. So it seems like we're in some sort of well, I don't know what you call it, not a marshland or a bog, but there's lots of water down to the sides of us here as we track along the side of the Klondike River. quite different to the riding we did yesterday, still quite low level, though I imagine a bit later we'll be climbing some mountains. Just see a couple of motorcycles up ahead, which could be part of our group, who knows. Right, just coming up to our fuel stop now. Caught up with a couple of what look like Harley Davidsons that are on a big tour. It's a trike ahead, and then this loaded up vehicle is going at walking pace. Arctic Ocean, let's head that way. Right, let's get some fuel. Looks like potentially some of our compadres there. Let's see how this fuel pump works. Right, I'll show you these fuel pumps here. They do vary a bit in the US, but just get the keys. We've got this down to a fine art. Mrs. Flyer does the finances while I sort out the fuel cappage. So that flips up there. It's quite good, that little map pouch thing. Not a keyless fuel cap, surprise surprise. And with these, what you have to do is basically select the amount of money, or the maximum money that you want to spend before you pump. And the fuel nozzles here, confusingly for us Brits, the black pump means petrol as opposed to diesel. So basically you select what your maximum amount is going to be. It's not going to be much in this case, so we'll select $20 or something. You pump away and then it only charges you for the amount you actually put in, but if you get to $20 it'll stop, so it's kind of a pre-authorization thing. But it seems to work quite well so far. We'll see how this one goes. I don't think there's going to be an awful lot we can actually fit in the bike, but we'll give it a try. Alrighty, so it feels a bit alien putting a black. They have these amazing articulations on these as well. Look at that. It's you don't get those at home. Anyway, let's see if we can trickle some in. Doesn't feel like it's pumping. What we're doing wrong? We haven't selected the. There you go. That helps. I'll be surprised if we get a litre in. But it all counts when you don't know when the next fuel station is. Right, that looks pretty full to me. Last drip. And fuel prices are pretty reasonable here still. $4.90 Canadian dollars for 2.5 litres. What does that work out as? Actually, that sounds not that dissimilar to home, doesn't it? Take it all back. Right. Okay, so that's the fueling situation. Right, fuel successfully done. Signage there, North Horse City, South Whitehorse. That'll do. I love that that's the two options. Whitehorse is still over 300 miles away. Brilliant. Right. Let's settle in. At last, we get a view of the Klondike River. If we had time, we'd get down there and do a bit of panning. But we haven't. We've got a long day ahead. But yeah, who thought we'd ever see the Klondike River? Incredible. What is this arrangement across the river here? Looks like there's some sort of cable car, or is it power cables? Let's have a look. Well, it is actually power cables, but they look heavy duty. Once again, a bit of over engineering, but probably needed out here. Imagine what this is like in the winter. It's amazing how just in a day the scenery can change so much. So here we are in the Yukon, yesterday we were in Alaska, and basically so far we've done, what, 40 miles today or thereabouts, and it's just been this flat landscape with trees and the river. Of course we're following the river valley. There are hills in the distance, as you can see, but so far it's had a completely different feel to the riding we did in Alaska. I'm sure it won't stay like that. Crikey, some traffic lights again, and a bike, so it might be where maybe some of our compatriots have been waiting here for some time, because we reckon we're 5 minutes behind the others we saw at the fuel stop, so they've probably been waiting here for a while. Maybe our timing's better. So I wonder how long they've been here. Of course there's no telling how long this bit of roadworks is. It could be 30 miles long, so we could be sat here for an hour. We shall see. So we just noticed there's a sign there that says wait for pilot car. So it's one of these ones where you get escorted again. We could see a truck coming up here now, look, with a truck behind it, which I need to give a bit more room to. I wonder if he manually has to change the traffic light to green and then turns round. No, surely not. Let's see how this works. Right, it's saying to follow, even though the traffic light's on red. Maybe that's how it works. It stays red on both sides, and then you just follow him. Perhaps that's the mode of operation. So we've got, this is Paul and Sandy ahead of us from our group, and then behind we've got a couple of RVs. Be interested to see how long it takes to get through this bit of roadworks, because Paul and Sandy were obviously sat there for some time. Well, this looks like fun. Looks like we've got a bit of off-road to negotiate. Right, relax, visor down. See how long this goes for. Ooh, sand, don't like that. Just going to give these all some space because this is a little bit sandy in parts. We could afford to go a little bit faster. We're in first gear and I'm basically at walking pace. Now I see why it was a long wait for the pilot car. Well, this is hard work. Man, this is going on for some time, and there's some horrible sandy bits that we've been through. That I'm not a fan of. Like this bit, for example. Whoa! That is horrible. This is proper squirrely through here. Riding on sand has got to be the worst. And it looks like the end is nigh. I'm very glad to say. I can see some concrete up ahead and it can't come soon enough. Thank goodness for that. Whoa. And relax. Uh-oh. Looks like more roadworks ahead with another red light. Let's hope this isn't so much fun, in quotes. So it looks like potentially more of the same to come. Interesting, I've just noticed this bike has hill hold control on. Given it hasn't got any other electronics aids, I'm stunned that it has hill hold, but it's quite nice to rest the old arms. Right, what's this one going to have in store for us? We shall find out. Right, our pilot car has arrived. Let's see what happens this time. Took him a while to get here, so I'm thinking it's quite a long section again of roadworks. We shall see. I'll give Paul a little bit of space this time as well. Pick our route through.
Just wanted to let you know we're putting down fresh brush. We have a packer on it, but it'll be a little bit loose at the far end for about maybe a half a kilometer.
Okay. Alrighty, thanks. Good of him to tell us. But it has the effect of just putting the frighteners up us. But anyway, we shall see. So apparently, I don't know if they might pick that up, possibly not, but they're putting down loose pack or something. And he said the last half a kilometre might be a bit tricky. So, let's see what happens here then. People in the RVs behind will be thinking, why did he tell them and not us? Really do, we're just going a little bit faster. But anyway, let's go visor down for this, I think. It's looking a bit dusty. Well folks, welcome to Moose Creek. Unfortunately the battery ran out on that last road, on that roadworksy bit, and then it continued, roadworks nightmare, for probably about 30 miles, including mud, sand, gravel. It was like riding on marbles, riding on ice, you name it, we had it. But luckily we got away with it, we didn't have any calamities, but it was quite, did take a bit of concentration. Anyway, here we are at Moose Creek now, which looks like this. Cool little place for a much needed a cup of coffee and a bit of a rest before we plough on. We've done about 96 miles, something like that, out of our 340 odd. So we're making reasonable progress, even though it was very slow through those roadworks. Hello.
Hi.
Oh yeah, this is rather splendid, isn't it?
Thank you very much. And you?
With 2 coffees.
Oh, what have we got there?
Raspberry tarts. I've just eaten a lovely blueberry tart.
Like a tart, don't we? Is that my coffee there?
Yes.
Thank you, cheers.
We noticed we're all standing up because we don't want to sit down.
Oh, splendid.
250 is lovely. Thank you very much.
Have to have a little nose around.
I mean, there is no room. No, I'm always old. We can fit something, which is a bit.
Well, what an excellent little spot for a coffee and a sausage roll that was. Looks like some sort of log cabins, maybe holiday home type things here going on. Actually, the more I look into the woods, there's more and more of them. A few RVs as well. Barbecues, all that sort of thing. They certainly do the great outdoors well here, don't they? I wonder what wildlife other than moose there are here to trouble you as you're having your barbecue, though. My goodness me. Not only in the US do they do stuff big, but check out the size of their gas canisters here. Look at that. That is a big one. Right, alright, on that note, back on the bike, I think, and hit another 100 miles. Okay, we are back on the road. Let's hit the Klondike Highway. Ta-da! Oh, what an excellent stop that was at the Moose Lodge. Well, we're just hoping that we're not going to be hit with loads more roadworks. Who knows? We'll head this way, see what we've got. Temperature is rising, 65 degrees Fahrenheit now. I've lost my mid layer. I had a sort of a mid layer fleece on, but now I'm just a base layer of my jacket, and that's it. It's absolutely perfect riding weather. I'm hoping that the scenery is going to start looking up, and it looks like it is. Fantastic. Fingers crossed, no more roadworks. So all the roadworks that we had on that last leg, and I reckon we were doing probably about, there was probably about 35 miles of roadworks that was off on that sort of dirt and dust and mud and stuff. That meant our speed really went down, and we just checked, oops, we just checked at that last stop, and it's been over 3 hours since we started today. We haven't even done 100 miles yet. We've done 96.3 since we left, so it just shows how that impacts progress. And since we got such a big day today, we could really do without that. So we didn't hang around at the coffee stop. We're going to blat on for another 100 miles, but if we see some fuel, we're going to get some, because we don't have enough to get all the way to Whitehorse. It's a place called Stewart Crossing in 20k. Maybe there'll be some fuel there we can get. There's a river down here on my right, in those trees, believe it or not, or you can just see it over there. That's the Stewart River, apparently. We've just noticed in the mirrors we've got what looks like a Mustang, a very nice car behind. I'm sure he'll overtake at some point. And there he goes. Yeah, he's not hanging about in the Mustang. So excitement is building aboard the GS at the moment, because in 10 miles we've got a turn. Should be a right turn to Whitehorse, not too far away, and we've got to make sure we don't miss it, because yesterday one of our group, who shall remain nameless, but it was Alan, overshot the one turn that he had to make in the day and ended up going 41 miles before he realised his mistake, and then had to ride 41 miles back. So he added quite a healthy chunk of extra time to his trip. He said he had a great day though, but obviously that made it quite a long day, so we don't want to be today's Alan. A great view off to my right now of the River Stewart. which we are going to cross shortly on this excellent looking bridge. I get very excited about bridges, I don't know why. And this is one of those types that you absolutely do not get at home. It's a classic Canadian looking bridge. Over we go, check this out. Nice. That is a pretty big river. Cool. Right, there should be a fuel stop in 0.3 of a mile just down here. So time we got topped up once again with some go juice. It's here somewhere. Here it is. Or is it over there? That's the toilet. That must be fuel. That'll do nicely. Look at that trailer on a bike. That is just wrong. I'm sorry, folks. Never have a trailer on a bike. Just don't do it. Right, we are fully fueled again. Let's just check what our range is now. Well, it says 144 miles. It hasn't registered it quite yet. We'll have a check of that in a second. But hopefully that's going to get us to the next fuel stop. Right. Here we go. Right, I think it's that way. Clear. Oh, it's getting warm now. It's getting warm. Nice. Quick check of the old doodah day. Next thing we do is at 204 miles, Five Finger Rapids viewpoint. That is in 95 miles is the next thing. Cool. We might stop for a bit of lunch before then if there's an opportunity. We'll see. Although that last stop at Moose Creek was excellent. I ended up not only having a raspberry tart, which was good, but a particularly fine sausage roll. And of course we forgot that here in Canada and the US, of course, you often get the old top-ups for free coffee. So we had a couple of coffees and it absolutely recharged us a treat for the day ahead. So feeling good. How are you feeling, Carol, on the back? She's feeling splendid. Excellent. Let's hope it stays that way. Let's hope we don't get any more roadworks and then we'll keep smiling. Right, let's just check what our range is telling us now. Let's have a chance. Right, we've got a range of 198 now. The tank is indicating full. We've done 109, so that's 300. Not quite enough to get all the way there yet, so one more fuel stop when we next get the chance.